SUHAZ this time going to be on the red side, and TODAK, first base ban, Natalia again. They know SUHAZ Esports is liking their composition. So are they going to force them to play the double roaming assassins again? And when it comes to roaming assassins, what other roaming assassin is playable besides Natalia?
Honestly, I don't think there's too many playable roaming assassins. We've seen many tries before of even having... Honestly, when Julian first came out, that's, you know, the roaming assassin to go to, who has literally everything in the kit to do anything the team wants, to engage, to assassinate. It depends on the situation, right? But coming into this, Natalia is just rather annoying to deal with, and I think TODAK recognized that. They ban out the Natalia first phase ban. SUHAZ Esports respond with the Fanny. They just don't want that extra bit of X factor that TODAK has. Let's limit down their pool to things that we know and love.
Xavier was surprisingly completely ignored in the previous game as well, even though it's been nerfed here and there. But it seems like TODAK, they're just sticking to the usual bans. Natalia, Masha again. So this is something that seems to be the recurring trend in current meta, I guess.
You know, aggressive supports. That's what I'm seeing here so far. And also limiting what City Norsana could potentially do, getting rid of a potential flex pick. I can respect it. Honestly, I think it's totally fine. And especially for people like Rival, he doesn't want to have to deal with a Masha running in his jungle or later into the game looking to almost get one shot by this clapping bear lady coming out of like some side angle view, and you can't stop it.
Makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, props to Rivals, because his debut match was a little bit sloppy in an early game, but he redeemed himself throughout the entirety of TODAK's game. And this is a big W coming in from TODAK, because finally they've won games without Chiku, if that makes sense.
Well, sure. I mean, they've won games without Chiku before. It's no surprise to me. I personally think that Rival, what really set him apart was the fact that he was really responsive to how quick TODAK were making decisions. Because there are moments where you have to make a split decision as a jungler. Do I join the team in the fight, or do I look to gain gold elsewhere? And I think TODAK collectively, the hive mind, I don't know how they're connected to each other by the Kala or something, they figured it out, right? They were able to communicate to Rival, hey, we need you to get a gold lead somewhere else across the map, and even he understood that is the most important thing.
Yep, TODAK now, they've got to make a decision. Do they ban the 1-1 or do they ban the Julian? But seems like TODAK, they are going to respect the Arkai. This is something that I think TODAK used to play a lot during SEA games as well, when they were prioritizing on the Arkai jungle, which was meta in the previous patch. So it's something that they don't exactly want to deal with it. There's not really a lot of ways to actually counter the heavy spin anymore. Last time, knockback kind of does it, counters it, but this time, nope. It's pretty much everything from Hurricane Dance to heavy spin, things got a little bit different in terms of the mechanics. So TODAK, first pick, 1-1 is going to be not available, unfortunately. But do they want to get their Xavier, or maybe even a Julian, denying it away from SUHAZ Esports?
I mean, honestly, it didn't really matter whether the sides changed or not, because again, the bans are generally about the same here. So TODAK, with their first pick, I'm curious to see what they want to do on blue side, right? What do they prioritize beyond anything else? It could be... Thomas is a good start. Grok is also a really good start too. So I'm guessing one of the two, or if not...
Oh, okay.
Valentina.
Yeah, completely forgotten. Valentina was banned in previous games. So this time, prioritizing Valentina for Moon. That's going to give them a little bit more option. But SUHAZ Esports, do they want to deny pick away? Yes, they will. They will take the Tamus from SUHAZ Esports. And the question remains, is this going to be a jungle Tamus, or is it going to be an XP? Julian also going to be picked up from SUHAZ Esports.
I mean, Oxygen played a really strong game and was very close to getting the top damage dealer for SUHAZ in game number 1. Game number 2, I expect nothing less.
I don't think they are going to run the double assassin comp this time. But at the same time, considering based on the flexibility, SUHAZ Esports can still opt to have this Julian play a roaming, right? We've seen jungle, we've seen XP. Just now, we saw a mid-mage Julian coming in from SUHAZ Esports. So, I don't know. Maybe that's going to be the situation from SUHAZ Esports. Keep it as flexible as possible based on their decision-making.
I mean, they're just getting two strong laners right now, and I can't blame them for that. It's just good. There's no way around it. TODAK, on the other hand, they're going to be locking in the Ling for Rival once again, but this time taking Beatrix instead of aggressively going for something crazy. I'm guessing that TODAK is going to be prioritizing the gold lane bans, and for Mace, he's just going to have to sit this one out. He's probably going to play Uranus or Esmeralda. Worst comes to worst, maybe get a Paquito, Yuzong. We've seen him play Yuzong into Thamus before many, many times. Now, SUHAZ, on the other hand, let's see what they're going to get for their last pick in the first phase.
Do they want to just straight up pick them Popo and Kupao right now against the Beatrix? That's something that they may consider. but at the same time, they need to figure a way to deal with this link because they had no really good solution in the previous game. But okay, Esmeralda pickup coming from SUHAZ Esports. So this is a jungle Tamos coming from SUHAZ Esports. Alright, I'm not expecting this, but denying away strong XP laners from TODAK. That's going to be the strategy from SUHAZ Esports.
Very interesting. Okay, all right, fair enough. SUHAZ Esports, they're going to be banning out the Yve as well. They've already gotten rid of the farmers earlier on, so nothing to worry about there. Claude, going to be the follow-up ban coming in from TODAK. I think TODAK have just done some really good homework here, making sure that they can limit down on the gold lane pool. SUHAZ Esports respond this time with
2 mages. I'm a little bit surprised. Isn't this like a mid-mage Valentina, or does SUHAZ Esports think that this Valentina is going to be played on the XP lane? I don't think I've seen 4 mages play Valentina.
Okay, so the fact that they've banned out Sicilian as well as Yve, I'm guessing that SUHAZ Esports wants to force Valentina into the mid lane, right?
Yeah.
Because in the EXP lane, if you are going to be playing, Esmeralda, you're basically going to get free farmed the entire game, right? It's free EXP, and there's nothing much you can really do about it. So let's limit down on the mid lane pool. Let's get that Valentina down into the mid lane and go for about a 50-50 matchup up in the EXP.
But that's my question. Have I ever seen 4 mains play a Valentina XP lane?
The better question is that why wouldn't he?
True. It's a new season, it's a new patch. Everybody's got to adapt, especially if you want to go towards M4. So I wouldn't be surprised, but the idea coming from SUHAZ Esports is very, very, I would say, big brain, but at the same time, maybe unnecessary. But they just don't want to take that unnecessary risk, I guess. But the question remains for the side of TODAK. What is Yumski going to be playing? Because as of yet, his Grok has been respected. He can opt to go for maybe his usual Matilda, etc. But he needs a strong frontliner to actually stonewall and block SUHAZ Esports' path. Because if you think about it, Esmeralda Tamos, very, very tanky.
Wow.
But SUHAZ Esports, they're doubling down on the Saber again. This is going to be a roaming Saber once again.
Yeah, they want to guarantee a counter pick on the very least, at the very least,
against
on a Ling, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fair enough. I think that's totally fine here in this particular situation. I'm curious to see how TODAK is going to respond to this, right? In the previous game, they had Grok, somebody who can literally face check and walk away from the triple sweep coming in from the Saber. So now, how are they going to face check? Are they going to go with somebody who can take Purify, for an example, Cho? Do they want to opt to go for a Franco maybe? Or do they just want to go for a pure tank that's just going to, oh, if I walk in here and there's 4 people, I guess that's the situation.
I think Franco isn't too bad. And they are going to force another tanky XP laner for 4 mains, maybe a Paquito. But okay, Lolita will be picked up for himself, but Yu Jong will be picked up for 4 mains. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I kinda... Wait a minute.
Because Yuzong is almost going to guarantee that TODAK is gonna have an advantage in these team fights. Because right now, SUHAZ, when you're looking at a lineup like this, their team fights aren't exactly extremely synergistic, right? You've got 2, like honestly, 3 strong assassins, most likely gonna take out 1 member for the side of TODAK, and then after that, you're banking that maybe, just maybe, that in the gold lane as well as the EXP lane of Thamos and as well as Esmeralda will be able to carry the later stages. It's tough. I think they just have to play the map here for SUHAZ.
I get the Yu Jong pickup, but I'm a little bit surprised from the Lolita pickup. It feels like TODAK, they're trying to adapt to the Lolita composition where Blacklist kind of loves bringing in the Lolita and still makes it work. So maybe this is going to be the experimental phase from TODAK, and I'm looking forward to see how this is going to fare well against the triple assassin composition coming in from the side of SUHAZ Esports. Something new, something fresh for Season 10, and I'm looking forward to see how they're gonna pull this off. Ladies and gentlemen, we are heading in towards the Land of Dawn. This is gonna be game number 2. Will SUHAZ redeem themselves, or will TODAK prevail as being one of the best teams here in MPL MY? Ladies and gentlemen, this is game number 2.
All right, let's break this down one more time. The Big Daddy comp coming out of SUHAZ Esports, very reminiscent to the old days. Get a bunch of assassins, slap together a couple of fighters, and run your opponents down. Is this going to be enough? And especially when it comes down to the gold lane, we're looking at Abumon playing on Esmeralda up against Momo as Beatrix. It's very oppressive if you take a bad trade at level 1.
This is, yeah, I definitely agree when it comes to trading off. But
Oh no, 4 mains. Oh
no! He did. No way!
Oh,
No way.
A blunder. A blunder so early on into the game. This is great for SUHAZ. They might be able to get one back for the side of TODAK, but Oxygen makes it out. Vinsmoke and Oxygen very good at working together at clearing these lanes. They're going to lose a little bit of EXP. It's not going to be the worst in the world, but Raisin, he's already ahead and manages to take away a camp rival unable to go for the steal.
Yeah, when it comes to jungling as well, I like how they went super flexible with the composition, and this is, I was expecting maybe a jungle Tamos, but nope, it is going to be the Hayabusa jungle, so no marksman. Once again, SUHAZ Esports looking to finish off the fights as quickly as they can. Looks like early aggression is going to be the way to go. Emblems are pretty much up right now on screen for you guys to mimic in the near future.
Huh, I'm surprised. Abuman didn't decide to go for movement speed. Instead, he doubled down on getting some health and making sure that his regeneration is going to be very clear cut. On the other hand here, when we're looking at Formaze, unfortunately for him, he himself is just opting for just raw damage. And the same goes for Thamos. They're looking to duke it out, but after that first blood, I think Siti Nosana basically has full control over the lane unless TODAK tries to intervene.
Huh. That's an interesting thing that Yumski is doing. He's just blocking the minions' turret just to have a little bit of lane control.
Look at that. Siti Nosana already pushing out Rival from the jungle. This is going to be a free turtle take here. There's nothing that they can really do to guarantee. Maybe they might be getting a kill onto Yumski so far, but no, they aren't able to follow up on this. Moon is level 4. I don't know what ulti he's stolen just yet, but SUHAZ Esports, they're going for the safe play. They're not going to try and press their advantage. They're just looking to take objectives, move back, and continue the bleeding.
Yeah, TODAK is playing this very, very safely. And it's, like I said, the time is against SUHAZ Esports, right? They're the ones that has to make the move. They're the ones that has to rush things down. And all TODAK's got to do is just wait patiently, don't make mistakes, and don't get caught up. And they will eventually outscale SUHAZ Esports. And this is not going to be the first time that this has happened based on Game 1's performance. Game 2, they've learned their lesson. They understand they have to respect SUHAZ Esports a little bit better now.
Absolutely. Now, considering that Formaze died early on, look at his build. He decides to go for the plated leggings, making sure that he isn't going to go for your traditional damage. He wants to make sure he gets that dominance ice as quickly as possible, just to slow down the aggression, I would suppose, but more importantly, to protect himself from these big dives as Vinsmoke makes the attempt. Formaze able to thwart the backwards, using his Petrify and Black Dragon form to say, no, I am not free food.
Yeah, that's a big win from TODAK. That's going to completely give them a little bit more momentum swing.
Oh,
okay, Momo, he got the snipe. That is not healthy for Raisin right now because he might actually get dived on.
Is he going to get one shot right here? He might get one shot right here. Momo does it! He finds it. His Yumski times it perfectly. Abumon in the middle of it all. His Avarice is getting farmed up, but he's noticing that there's too many members to handle as Momo says no, denying the space right. Okay, that's two. Okay, that Numenon Blast and as well as the Tempest of Blades missing, that's not something you want to see.
Yeah, but still big catch coming from TODAK to actually deny Raisin. What a big setup coming from Momo, because who would have thought that you know, he would actually get dived on just like that there. But Abumon is gonna have forced to defend against the gold platings on the bottom side. He's trying to get some value out of it, but the rest of his teammates is just not there. And, oh no,
he
the
doesn't
recall.
deny Rival. All right, that's totally fine. Rival gets back up to full. He's going to be ready. He's going to go over to his purple buff and then immediately book it and beeline to check out the situation on the turtle. So far, so good for both teams, in a matter of fact, finding their just windows of opportunity to punish their opponents.
Yeah, very, very small windows on top of it all. It's just insane how they're able to find all these opportunities, considering that this is their, I would say their first time playing against each other, second time now. So it's a little bit weird, but at the same time, it's reasonable coming from TODAK because they needed some sort of momentum swing. They cannot give full swing to a SUHAZ Esports. And SUHAZ Esports, you can see the rotations coming from Oxygen's Vinsmoke is just not paying off. And every single time they show their presence, they completely, nope, as soon as I say it, I take it back.
Exactly. That one was a little bit,
back.
to be honest, that one was a little bit tough because it's so hard to react to it. Moon's going to take a couple of deaths, but oh, Yumski, great flicker, but he's still going to be falling down to the hands of SUHAZ Esports, and they get a huge back battle spell out of him. So no playmaking capabilities coming out of Yumski, just disengage. Ryzen, he sees Momo, but he's got to pull away as this is now SUHAZ Esports' territory. This mid-game is going to be really, really good. Even though that rival is trying to staunch that bleeding, and more importantly, Forme is switching lanes, CT Norsana is going to do his best to look for this kill. He might be able to get it. Oh, rival manages to get out just in time as they break bottom tier 1. SUHAZ Esports still in the lead.
Yep. SUHAZ Esports, as of yet, with the triple assassins, they've got the advantage and they need to push the pressure. They've got their objectives, but as of yet, look at the setup once again. They want to look to bully Moon, but at the same time, on the bottom side, they found Momo. They tried to go for the OK Shadow kill, but unfortunately, no follow-up from the rest of the teammate. Vinsmoke is a bit too far off, but here comes the re-engage coming from TODAK.
Abumon, he finds his kill onto Momo, manages to make it out, but in trade, it looks like Raisin had to take one for the team. Vinsmoke finds an opportunity, he takes out Momo in one quick felt swoop, onto Moon, but the triple kill coming out of Formace is going to push him back into the lead after his first blood early on.
Oh, that was a big miscommunication coming from SUHAZ Esports, and Vinsmoke, he wasn't able to actually chain the catch with Oxygen as well as Raisin. If not, Momo would have died then and there, and because of that blunder, TODAK was able to capitalize so much in all these team fights.
Well, I mean, Momo died pretty early on because of Abumon, but more importantly, they managed to get a catch onto Moon with just Vinsmoke's ult. So that kind of tells you the position that Moon is in. He is very worried about Vinsmoke, and he needs to consider a lot of options when it comes down to the ult. Does he want to take specifically Hayabusa's ult to maybe dodge the initial damage from Vinsmoke after he has used the triple sweep? Does he want to opt to take the triple sweep and look to engage for the rest of TODAK?
Yeah, it's going to be very difficult to decide as well, as considering that they don't exactly have much option for him. But at the same time, SUHAZ Esports looking for their third turtle. TODAK not looking to pick a fight, respecting the triple assassins, and they just want to play a cross-map plays again. And you've seen this time and time again, but this time SUHAZ Esports' laning phase compared to game number 1 looks a little bit better because they are winning on their objectives rather compared to game 1's TODAK's performance.
The stalemate, the line.
Yumski,
he finds one on towards Oxygen. He goes down, breathless, and cannot go further. The rest of SUHAZ backs off. And a quick reminder to everybody, if you notice on the top right of your screen, you can see the current game patch that we are going to be playing on. Remember that there's going to be a big update to the emblems, and to maintain competitive fairness, we're going to ensure that we're going to be sticking to this upcoming patch 1.7 later on this week.
Yep, be sure to pay attention to what's going on the screen. But as of yet, the fight is about to break down. TODAK, they are going to force the issue. They scared Ryzen off, and he's going to be caught out in a choke spot. And SUHAZ Esports, they're trembling as Formace isolates Vinsmoke, and Abumon not going to be able to do much. He is going to die eventually as TODAK gets another kill in their bag.
And Moon manages to get out just in time, preemptively using his flicker to ensure that he doesn't get hit by the triple sweep from Vinsmoke, keeping him out of range. And now TODAK look to kind of push the envelope, pushing the goal lead back into their favor here. They cannot afford to lose any member as bottom and top have already lost the majority of their towers. Triple sweep onto Rival so far. Vinsmoke is out of there, flickering to ensure his safety, but Rival lives to see another day.
Yeah, Rival is just so hard to deal with right now. And SUHAZ Esports, they have this strong composition to bully Moon all the day, but once again, it's a full burst comp. Once you burst down one guy, what's next? The rest of the 4 are going to completely overwhelm you, and that's something that SUHAZ Esports is just struggling to find those kind of opportunities to win this kind of fights. They need more coming from Raisin, and Raisin is what, 1-3-3 as contrast to Rival is level 13 and what, 0-3 against him.
I mean, he's only a level up onto Raisin, and Raisin, he's not completely out of this game. He still has a lot of split push potential. His 1v1s are still very, very good, even at 2 items, right? CT Nosana, on the other hand, this is where he starts to fall off. He's good at fighting against Formace, but that's as good as it gets. In team fights, Formace is going to bring a lot more with his hero's arsenal compared to CT Nosana. The big question is whether or not they're going to be able to carry themselves into the later stages of the game. And SUHAZ Esports, their composition doesn't scale. Formace makes a good read with the rest of his team giving you that information. CT Nosana just stuck in the middle, forced to use his ult as well as Vengeance, terrified by Moon, and now is petrified by Formace to give Rival the kill. They find 1, they find 2, and you see they are unstoppable A double kill coming out from Rival as Maze finishes off the rest. Abumon all by himself. A huge swing in Todak's favor.
That is some insane game sense coming from Maze, especially from that initiation. SUHAZ Esports, they weren't expecting that engagement at all. Completely caught off guard, and that is going to be a free lot in the hands of TODAK. Just like that, TODAK, they just completely overwhelmed them, and this is going to be the late game that we're talking about, that where their levels, their items is going to eventually outscale the composition that SUHAZ Esports is eyeing for, and this is not looking good for SUHAZ Esports at all.
Yeah, it really isn't. CT Rosana is gaining a lot of damage, but despite the fact that Moon has been dying so much, he's been getting some really effective waves here. 25,000, just 1,000 off from being top of the list in terms of damage dealt ranking. I'm curious to see later on what the items are for Momo in particular. I did see him purchase a recent item, but I don't know if he opted to go for Winsome Nature early on, and that's why he turned that fight around, or was so brave to kind of walk into the fire.
Yeah, I think he needs this Haas Claw. Just because City Norosana has got the Blade Armor, he might have a little bit of trouble in terms of damage output, but fortunately for him, he still has Rival, he still has Moon, he still has Maze to chip him away, so that's going to be a little bit of a plus point. Ice Queen 1 purchase coming from Moon means there is going to be a little bit more utility in favor of TODAK, but here comes the catch. SUHAZ Esports, they're playing defensively, but TODAK has to play it safe for now.
Yep, TODAK can't afford to be giving these free kills over to SUHAZ Esports. They don't want to go 50-50, so they're still playing to the objective game, and it's working out for them, right? They're 5K ahead against SUHAZ Esports. This is the perfect position for TODAK to be in with the composition that they have. It is now on the initiative on SUHAZ to try to start a fight against TODAK, because in most cases, TODAK aren't going to do anything. They don't have to. They know that they can win big team fights, so they can just wait 85 seconds for the next Lord.
Exactly. That's exact. Oh no, speaking of waiting, right now they want to set up play against Abumon. Here comes the Black Dragon coming from side. They caught Raisin. They completely shut him down. Abumon tries to stall him back, but they've got the objectives in their minds, and that's going to be taking away the jungler, focusing, denying objectives.
Yep, they want to make sure that the enemy jungler cannot contest to look for a steal against Rival. He is 2 levels down. Let's keep it that way. And TODAK, again, even if they didn't get that kill, it honestly wouldn't have mattered at the end of the day, because they're not going to be getting any inhibitors in this particular game, or, more importantly, the Lord, which hasn't even spawned.
This is going to be a difficult situation, but TODAK, like you said as well, they have to play safe. I've never seen them play this safe for a very, very long time. But let's take a look at the... Oh, okay. Except I'm talking about MPL standards, all right? MPL standards. But let's take a look at the AI's winning prediction. We have a dedicated AI predicting the winning outcome of this match, and the winning percentage coming from SUHAZ Esports is only 32%.
I mean, it's not looking good here, and I'm not gonna lie, it's understandable to see so, because SUHAZ Esports just does not scale into the later stages. CT Rosana tries to push out that wave, and now is going to get completely punished here. Rival here looking to get a free kill, and yes, he finds it. Mega kill achieved, but with 1 falls, the rest of the SUHAZ Esports members look to take full control over the Lord. They know they can't take it just yet, but they need to control the space, and they're setting up potential flanks as they spread out towards the bottom side of the map. Now, Raisin, he could show himself and then look to get out. Oxygen, he needs to move away, because you can see that TODAK are getting a bit of a read here. They're looking to collapse on towards Oxygen. Side splits off. They find Raisin, who has forced to use the Oki shadow kill and still goes down unstoppable, as TODAK now guarantee a way to take the Lord.
Nice timing coming from Maze to catch him off animation from the OK Shadow kill, immediately taking him out. So that was huge coming from him. Meanwhile, here comes the setup on the sides as well. TODAK, they're getting split off. CT Rosana just manning up against Maze. He doesn't have the Black Dragon, and Moon will be the sacrificial lamb, but Abumon scaring off the backlines of TODAK will re-engage and take 2-for-1 trade-off. And this is going to open up the map a little bit for SUHAZ Esports, and this is what they needed, especially for SUHAZ Esports.
And that's the classic TODAK. That's what we were expecting. The aggressive play, unnecessary overextensions, the disrespect, and SUHAZ now take this opening to punish them. Momo unfortunately doesn't clear that wave, as Yumski is trying his best to hold on, but that's going to be a mid-tier 1 falling into the hands of SUHAZ Esports. Lord may be on TODAK's side, but at the end of the day, if SUHAZ Esports is able to win the next upcoming team fight, they might be able to turn things around.
Yep, Oxygen now with the Divine Glaive. That is going to be some serious damage on the Julian itself. But let's take a look at the items real quick from both sides. Nothing super out of the ordinary. Only 1 immortality up on Yumski. none from the side of SUHAZ Esports. This is pretty much an all-in composition from SUHAZ right now.
Yeah, Momo, he did get his Winds of Nature. This is going to be important. Numenon Blast coming up. They find CT Sana here, who forces out the Vengeance straight away. Yumski doesn't mind. He's done his job. He needs to get on out of there unless the team wants to fight him. Forme says, yes, let's go. He looks for the engagement. Black Dragon form already finding his target on CT Sana. Petrifying Abumon. This might be an opportunity, but Vinsmoke finds his. A double kill coming out. Vinsmoke on Momo and Yumski as they're looking to try and crash this inhibitor down. The rest of the TODAK members are forced to pull back. SUHAZ have done all they could, and Vinsmoke running around in his lap of victory gives his life, for his job is done.
Yeah, that was a big catch coming from Vinsmoke from the back lines. Taking Momo in the equation is just huge. Meanwhile, Moon is going to struggle a little bit against Abumon as they want to fight a little bit more. Oxygen waiting for the right catch, but a little bit afraid against the Ling composition. The Ling may or may not be coming to the back lines and take them out. And SUHAZ Esports seems like they found their opportunity and they need another play like this, but at what expense? Look at the objective so far. SUHAZ Esports, they almost lost the tier 3 up top. They almost lose the mid one down to half HP. And in terms of laning phase, they're just losing out a little bit more. 60 minutes of the game with an enhanced minion down bottom is going to keep up with the pressure time and time and time again. And this is not going to be an easy task for them to overcome.
Okay,
and
look, I would say that the tables have technically flipped a little bit when it comes down to compositions. I mean, I don't think this is going to equate to a kill just yet. Let's just watch this for a little bit longer, because I am seeing that Momo and as well as Moon are coming into position. Abumon is pushing out this wave as much as he can, but to get back on track here, right? SUHAZ, game number 1, they didn't have a lot of map control. Now the table is flipped. SUHAZ now has a composition that can easily rotate across the map, and maybe they can sacrifice a player to gain full control over the opposite side. TODAK, they want to stick together. They cannot afford to go by themselves, isolated like right now, forcing Momo to use his flicker. Abumon tries to jump on in. He gets punished by the Numenon Blast as well as the charge. He goes down, and now TODAK War smell the blood. They're looking for more. CT Sana is on the run.
No way, no way.
Momo
no way.
is the next to fall. Rival looking to take his revenge, finds one as the rest of SUHAZ's members are on the run. TODAK looking for more. Raisin, he's trying to buy as much time as he possibly can. The Petrify to guarantee the kill, but the Oki Shadow kill does not do enough.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe Vinsmoke made that play just for the sake of Momo. But to top it, all they've got to do, all they can, is up to Oxygen. CT Sana, the Vengeance comes in. He's tanking as much as he can, but eventually he's just buying time for the inevitable, because TODAK, they're knocking into his door. They want to take the clean 2-0, but Abumon is back in action. It seems like TODAK, they are going to respect this and back off. It's just not enough time to take the crystal without Momo in the picture.
And more importantly, without the minions. They need those minions to push all the way to the end. Now, here's the scary part here. Can they get the steal from SUHAZ Esports? Oxygen is looking for a potential flank, but Moon decides, no, I am willing to sacrifice everything for this Lord. He tries to get on out of there. Numenon Blast, they find two with the truncheon pop by Oxygen. Now he's got no more mechanics to get out of there. He goes down as Abumon slows. The front line didn't make it in time. Raisin, he's trying to protect the inhibitors as much as they can, as SUHAZ buys as much as they can. Formace makes it out. Raisin comes in to clean it all up. Rival is too low. Immortality is popped. Abumon as well as CT Sana get the job done.
Yo, that is huge. The sustains coming in from both of this Esmeralda and Thamos is just phenomenal. They make sure Moon goes down, but at the same time, now with the Lord knocking in, Moon, can he do some serious damage to the crystal? I highly doubt so, and that's going to be an easy defense coming from SUHAZ Esports. However, look at this. Looks like Moon, he's really going for Raisin, and he almost got the pop-off with the OK Shadow kill. He will pay with his life. However, TODAK, they're throwing bodies after bodies, and they almost lost Rival trying to take the inhibitor up top. So a beautiful defense coming from SUHAZ Esports.
The desperation coming out of TODAK. They wanted to end that game there and then. They were sick and tired that Momo has to pay the price every single engagement. Even when he wants to get back to base safely, SUHAZ just added more salt to the wound.
Yo.
Well done, SUHAZ, as they put up an amazing defense against a Luminous Lord.
Yeah, Momo just can't play this game at all. It's either CT Sana on Abumon right in his face, or it's going to be a Vinsmoke, but in this time, TODAK gives them what they're they deserve, because this is going to be a revenge catch coming from them. And Numenor Blast catching Vinsmoke at the edge, and TODAK, they want to take him out. If they take him out, it's over. But the triple sweep from Vinsmoke destroys Rival before, and he lives to tell the tale. What am I watching, idiot?
Oh my goodness, one frame is all it. Okay, we gotta pull up the item list. I'm curious to see whether he has some form of defensive item, because he one-shot Rival just out of nowhere from full HP, instantly killed him without a chance to survive here. And even Momo finding a kill onto Oxygen as a bottom engagement goes south for SUHAZ Esports. God, that's so brutal. Ryzen is also found, instantly popped up. TODAK, they've thrown strats out of the window. It's about ego, it's about pride. You don't take out Momo without getting some kind of vengeance.
Yep, 4v3 now. Black Dragon trying to go in for isolation, but behind Vinsmoke, he tries to go to one-shot, but Moon survives, and he pays the price, and now it's up to the XP laners. Abumon left, and it's gonna be 4v1. Abumon clearing the minions, but he's down to the last health, but the Terrify is gonna be enough to take him down. That's gonna be TODAK taking the clean 2-0 against SUHAZ Esports.
Momo, once again, when you think he's down and out for the count, he's back, and even Rival joining in the honorary way of